Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is able.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, sir. My name is Anand. I could not attend your previous sessions, and today is my third session, sir. I have gone through the videos.
Okay.
So, if you don't mind, I will come up with doubts.
Sure, definitely. But
Okay.
the point is, how many sessions you didn't attend it? It's almost 1 month over.
Yeah, 1 month over. So, complete last week, I could attend only first 3 or 4 sessions, but I understood all the other sessions. So, 2, 3 videos are pending. So, I will be able to finish it off by today, sir.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you have anything here. Thank you.
Yeah, one more thing,
But
sir.
bonus.
Regarding this material, I'm getting confused whether it is there in Ashok IT website or it is there in Classroom, sir.
I hope you're going through the recording sessions. I clearly mentioned there is a classroom, which
Can
is
you
I'm giving. Yeah.
can you please add me, sir, to that classroom?
By
I don't know.
default,
I don't know how we have to enroll.
first, wait. You ask a question. I need to respond to you, right?
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Just wait. I need to respond to you, right? Yeah. In every class, I'm telling to click on this particular link. Not sure why. I mean, you are able to see this message also. Just click on the link. You will be added. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, sir. How I have to log into this? What is the URL I have to give?
Sir, you are not seeing the Zoom chat window?
1 minute, sir. So I have to click on that link, sir. What you are
Correct.
telling?
With your Gmail ID. Yes. With your Gmail ID, you
Okay.
click
If
on
I
this link.
then it will get automatically routed to that place.
Yes. Yes. You need to bookmark that URL and everything. You can see that actually. Okay. Yeah.
One moment, sir. I'm just copying it. 1 moment.
Why you to copy? Just you click there.
Now only, sir.
At any point of time, whenever you have it.
I have
Even
just
you click right now also, that's fine. Okay.
I've just
Yes.
clicked on it, sir.
Yeah, that's fine, sir. It will come, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Prasant, are you there in the class? Prasant, someone is asking. Prasant GitHub. Sir, by default, sir, if I write a code, even if I take 6 months also, course will not end. I'm not really sure if I write a code versus explaining the live code. Okay. If I write this much of code, it will take a lot of time, sir. If you want, I can try. Okay. That's not going to be because this complex code. Okay. And I given a code here. You can write on your own. If I write versus if I explain, there is nothing much difference here. I'm explaining line by line, making sure that just you will be following my class. If I write this code right, only to write the class, it will take 4 to 5 classes. Now every pattern I have project. So it will take 6 months also. It will not take, okay. So understand that point. Otherwise I could have typed here. The reason is I spend a lot of time and I type and I'm giving workable code. So the only point is if I type versus show going code walkthrough, no much difference. Kindly try that. If you didn't get it, maybe there is nothing big deal. Okay, you already having idea on microservices. Just like you need to write the code. That's it. You see the code, how much code it is having. Okay, right. And everyone agrees with that, right, guys? Versus live coding versus code walkthrough. Whatever the point I'm mentioning, everyone will agree to that, right, guys? Yeah. I think there is a disturbance coming from my end. Is it Vivek? Can you go on mute? Is it your disturbance?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Right. Now, yesterday I discussed about order service. Okay. Yesterday, I typically discussed about order service and what exactly the business logic we wrote in order service is just like okay. This is an important point, sir. We don't have this URL, endpoint URL in any of the configuration. In any of the configuration, we don't have this URL, guys. Microservice dot payment service dot endpoints dot endpoint dot URL. At runtime, this URL will be, we are going to get it. Okay. At runtime, they are going to get it. So if you see here order service, the configuration is only pointing to what? One second, guys. So my application name is order service and my port number is 9192 and I am only pointing to, one second. So only pointing to this config server. From config server, when I'm running this, it will load the config server and that time, whatever the payment service URL, which is registered for config server, I mean, we registered payment service URL in the config server and it is going to load there at runtime. So if there is any change in payment service URL, do I have any impact on order service, guys? Sir, please listen, sir. What I'm doing, sir, at runtime, I am getting payment service URL. How I am getting here? I only refer to the config server, which I am going to explain today about config server. But do you feel, is it a loosely coupled, right, guys? Is it a loosely coupled, right? If any change in URL, do have any impact here on the order service? That's what I mentioned, right, guys? Where Swiggy and hotels. Swiggy and hotels, you saw that, right? If there is any change in hotel, Swiggy will not be impacted. I explained this in registry and discovery pattern. Same here. Okay. So do you see it's a loosely coupled, right, guys? So what I'm doing here, REST template dot exchange or a post for object, whatever it may be. I'm making a call as well as I'm making a payment call. After payment is done, I'm creating order call. Order will have one table, payment will have another table. Both are two different databases. Understand? Sir, order microservice is having order table. Payment microservice is having payment table. So, which is typically two different microservices. First, I am placing order as well as I'm placing. First, I'm placing payment as well as I'm creating order. So, this is a typical functionality of order service here. Yeah, guys. If you don't have a questions, go on mute, guys. Vishwanath and one more participant, VI. If you have any questions, okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
Actually, I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
At value open bracket dollar microservice dot payment microservice dot payment icon service. Payment icon service is the application name. Why
I need to explain.
is it mandatory microservices or is it not mandatory? Anyone we can use.
I'll tell, sir. Today only I'll tell. I just now mentioned that this property I have not added to this order service. Did I added this property? Just now I explained, right? Maybe you joined late. Okay, just now I mentioned here. This property,
properties file?
yes, it's a property which is available in config server. Okay, which I'm going to refer. How you refer this payment service in the config server? You need to write like this. Any word you can use here. It's not about microservice. Sir, we have a microservice. I need to use microservice keyword. Not like that. In config server, I define like this. Okay. Maybe I'll go to the other cloud config server. You see here, application.yml, where I mention this is my config server, which is pointing to GitHub, and order service. The details are available here, and config server. So let me go to this particular URL. You saw here. Yeah. You see, just now you asked, right? Microservice dot payment service dot endpoints dot endpoint dot URI. Okay.
Yeah.
Where I'll go there, sir. Okay. Microservice dot payment service dot endpoints dot endpoint dot URI. You saw, as it is whatever we have mentioned here, the same I need to mention here. But I thought of explaining config server after I go to gateway and registry. But anyhow, you asked a question, right? That's why I've shown. But I'll go to the config server after later point. But people are getting confused, right? Sir, you can use any of the things here. But how you define it config server, the same way you need to use here. It's not that, don't confuse. We are teaching microservices, and microservice is a keyword like that. Don't think that. Okay. Understand, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Got it.
yeah.
Thank
Sir, I'll go to config server in a bit while, sir. Not now. Okay. Slowly. Okay. Let me go in my way and making sure that everyone should clearly understand. If I go to config server and again you will confuse what is LB and all those things, you'll confuse. Okay. So we'll go one by one, guys. Just I shown you config server because of this particular answering the question perfectly. I shown you config server. Okay. Right. Sir, as of now, any questions, sir? Yeah, cool. Next, I'll go to, sir, order service is completed, sir. Code walkthrough is completed in order service, sir. I did not miss anything in order service. I'll go to payment service. Okay. Same payment service also. Eureka client. This is having Eureka client. Sir, I took a web API MVC. I applied this code for a Spring MVC as a front end, but you can ignore that. Swagger MVC core, it's not required here in this example. I'm not using any front end, right? Yeah. So here Eureka client, Spring Cloud Starter config, data JPA, starter web, and slowly we will use Zipkin. Zipkin and Sloth will add to the same, slowly we'll add that. Okay. Right. Next one is, I'm going to focus on application.yml.
Sir, did we handle the transaction when we are doing payment and placing one order?
I'm sorry, I hope yesterday also I told the same answer, but I'll repeat the same answer. The limitations of microservices. What is the limitation? Distributed transactions are not allowed in microservices because every microservice has its own repository. Yesterday also someone asked it and I told the same answer. Okay. If there is any problem in payment in the microservices explanation in the starting classes, okay, I mentioned that you need to retry the failure. I explained with Big Basket example as well as I explained with the Amazon example. I totally explained the live examples. Whenever I place an order with Big Basket, if the payment is failed, they are not rolling back. We need to retry our payment. Okay.
Sir, if multiple times retries also fails, then
For example, sir, you placed an order. Okay. In Amazon. Multiple times payment is failed. What is going to happen? I mean, if you get in the situation, it depends on your design, how you want to design.
the order should be failed, sir. In that case,
That's what I'm telling, sir. It's your design. I don't know what happened today. It's your design. For example, I'll place my design 5 times. I'll give an option. Okay. If during 5 times my order is failed, for example, we need to think of real-time possibility. Can anyone take an order where payment is failed for continuously 5 times with a gap of 1 hour or 2 hours? The probability is very, very less. It's not the real, I mean, it's not a real probable case. But even though, what I'll do here, I have a workflow of canceling order. In the failure, if 5 attempts failure is happened, I invoke the cancel order workflow. But it's not that I am rolling back everything here. Okay. In Big Basket, they will give 5 times option. In 5th time also failed, they will not cancel the order. They will convert the order into cash on delivery. They will convert the order into cash on delivery. Okay. If you don't accept that, you can cancel the order. They will give a mail, clear email. Sir, your payment is failed. And we retried the same payment for these many number of times, but still we could not make a payment. That's why I'm converting that order into cash on delivery. If you are not happy with that, cancel the order. That is one of the approach. Amazon is automatically canceling the order. That is another approach. But really meaning one time failure may come, right? In production, real failure, a payment failure is maybe the gateway server, that is a Visa server or a your card server or a Google Pay server, or whatever it may be, payment gateway server is down, maybe, but it will be up within time, right? So I will retry for 5 times or 10 times. It's your design. You need to take care in design, right?
Yes, there may be a case of means insufficient balance also.
Correct, sir. It's a problem with your it's not a system problem, right? You don't have a balance. Okay. Then what is the point here? Every time it fails. Why you don't balance? You are intentionally entering wrong CVV or wrong OTP or wrong PIN number. Intentionally entering. That time also payment, even if you try 100 times, it will fail. What happens here? I'll convert that order into cash and delivery, or I will invoke the cancel order functionality at the last retry attempt.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That I already mentioned yesterday and the last time also. Okay. Right. So what I can understand from that point is, I mean, my perspective, microservices has limitations. Why I can say limitations? In monolithic, for me, I have a payment transaction, order transaction, right? So in my old architecture, I handled transaction. I was not able to do in latest one. That's why I feel that it's a limitation. Correct, right? Sir, previously I worked on Monolith and SOA. At that time, I have a order controller, right? In order controller, I'll call order service. In order controller, I'll have a payment service. And both are pointing to same database, same table or something like, okay? And I'll write at the rate of transactional annotation. Understand? And if something failed, I can commit or roll back. So we have an option at that time. That's why I call that as a limitations. But here microservices, the main single point agenda is single point of failure. There's a main point here. We don't want single point of failure. For that, I clearly mentioned there's a second limitation. Transaction management is a second limitation, but it's really not a limitation. For me, I feel that it's not really limitation. Yes, if you enter right things, if your system is right, everything will be success. Why failure will come? Correct, right? Sir, your system is working perfectly. Unless until with the problem of user input, right? I cannot take a decision. It's a system design point of view. It's a limitation or it's advantage. Having said that, previously we worked on legacy technology of AOP or any other transaction management pattern where we have an option. If one DB call is failed, we are going to roll back all the calls. So that kind of flexibility we have. That's why I call that as a limitation, but it's not really limitation. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to proceed more on this. Okay, guys, yeah, clear, right? Yeah. Now, let me remove this. I'll remove the Zipkin ring. Okay. So my payment server, and it is also same. Whatever the configuration in order service, same I wrote in payment service. Whatever the configuration in order service, same I wrote in payment service. It's 9292. I think I draw a diagram, guys. Once. I hope I draw a diagram. Yeah, I think I draw a diagram. Yes. So order service 9192, payment service is 9191. Now we'll go to the logic of payment service here. Just like I mentioned the cloud config URL. And here I have a payment entity. This is my payment table. Okay. And payment ID, payment status, all these values. That's it. And the payment repository. Derived query, right? Find by order ID. It's a derived query, which is JPA repository. Everyone knows, right? Find by. It's a derived query where we need to write implementation. Okay. Right. Now I have a service here. Okay. So do payment where I am having a payment processing. Sir, I am not calling any third party gateway. Here we'll call a third party gateway, sir. Do payment processing. Some third party payment gateway and something like the third party gateway gives success or failure, right, guys? So what I will do, sir, I'm slowly integrating this API with real-time Razor Pay payment gateway. I will leverage the code whenever I get a time here. So I'm planning to take a workshop on Razor Pay integration or a Paytm integration. That time I will call that and I will do that and I'll share again. But as of now, I'm not doing any real payment gateway transaction here. What I did is something, a random number I'm generating. If it is generated, success. If it's not generated, failure. A simple thing here, okay? And I'm taking a payment here. Sir, I've not implemented real business logic in payment service. Just like my intention is not doing real business cases. My intention is how I applied registry pattern, discovery pattern, config server pattern, gateway pattern. These are the patterns how I can apply, how can I connect these three to my real microservice. That is a example I mentioned here. Okay, but at the same time, anyhow, I have a flow of workshop. Maximum, maybe I'm planning my next workshop with this gateway, payment gateway, because some of the people asked this point. A lot of people are asking. So at that time, I'll integrate that with this, okay, and I'll share the real code also. This is the payment service microservice functionality, and I have a controller. This is
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask one doubt, sir, if you don't mind?
Please, yeah, you can ask, sir. It's related to what
actually-
or
Sir, actually, I'm finding it difficult to understand the code. So that is a problem that I am facing here. I am not able to understand completely the code. Only some part only I'm able to understand. So can I get a help from front office, sir, in the institute if someone can help me out how to execute this program? So
first of all, okay. When your question is, I didn't show an execution first of all. Okay, I need to
Okay.
show the execution. Next point.
Okay,
You are
okay, sir.
having an idea on microservices. Do you have
No,
an idea on microservices?
No, sir, I don't have. I just have some theoretical information on
Then
microservices.
this batch, sir, I am not sure. This batch is only who had a knowledge on Spring Boot, who had a knowledge on microservices, who has a real-time knowledge. For them only this batch is applicable.
Okay.
It's a condition I told initially, because this is a design patterns session. Design patterns, I already had a knowledge how to use that. Okay. So if you don't have a knowledge on microservices, for example, just now I mentioned repository. Unless you don't have a knowledge on derived query, how you will understand? Do you know the meaning of this?
Yeah, yes, sir. It is a derived query. Instead of writing our own method, we'll be using the method from JPA repository.
Then you have a knowledge on microservice, right?
Yeah, slightly I'm having, sir.
But
the
the
other,
expectation.
but the other code I'm finding it difficult to understand.
Yeah, that's the expectation, sir. That's the expectation. You need to have a knowledge on microservices.
Can I
Okay.
take help from front office so that can they assist us? Can they assist me in how to execute this program?
By
so that-
default, sir. So first of all, okay, you need to have a minimum. The prerequisite is you need to have a knowledge.
Okay.
Okay. The
Okay.
prerequisite itself is having minimum knowledge. Okay.
Okay.
Where either you need to join for a Spring Boot and microservices batch, which is a 2 months or 3 months course, then you will get end to end, because no one can assist you unless until you have a complete idea on this particular topic. For example, if it is a simple thing, right? I can only assist in the class itself. Okay. But it's a big ocean where unless until you cannot, if you didn't attend any training sessions related to Spring Boot and microservices, you cannot understand this course. Okay. That is a point here where you need to have a knowledge. But it's a microservice is a big ocean where how we write all those discovery services, gateway services, config server, all those things. It's a big ocean. It's a 2-3 months course actually. Okay. Can you imagine 3 months course? How can I assist within 1 day, by spending half an hour or 30 minutes with you? No one can assist you, right? Just think about it. Even if Ashok is trying to help you out, okay, 3 months of course, can they give you within 20 to 30 minutes? I mean, if someone should available, can they assist you? Think about the possibility.
Okay.
For
Oh, okay, sir.
example, just like I am telling, sir, I only know the English alphabets A to Z. I only know basically. Okay. And if someone is giving me a English writing, can someone assist me in understanding the English writing? If someone asks you, they will assist you. But unless until you don't know the alphabets clearly, end to end, then only you can understand, right? Even someone assist that cannot help you, right? Just my point here. Okay. Please,
Ye-
yeah, fine.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so I'll go through the one and
Or else you do one thing as you join the course, right? Whenever you find, okay, rather than telling, sir, I didn't understand anything. For example, I am explaining the code. If you have any questions, ask at that moment. I'll give some I'll give some extra things here and I'll give. Okay.
yeah, sir. One thing regarding this H2, what is H2, sir? You were mentioning about H2 in yesterday's class.
H2 is in-memory database. H2 is a in-memory database. That means database will be created at runtime, and database will be, once you stop the application, the database will be stopped. It's an in-memory database given by the Spring Boot community for all your temporary database operation. Rather than installing a physical database, I can install in-memory database. Okay.
It is similar to normal database which will have
Similar
data.
to, yes, same, everything is same, but
Can we
for,
be able to see it, sir? H2 database.
yes, we can see that. During execution time I can show this.
Okay, sir. I'll go through the code. I'll search from
Yeah.
Google. I'll try to
Yeah.
understand, and I will
But
approach.
the point is, sir, the prerequisite is, first of all, you need to have a coding idea on microservices. Okay. So
Okay.
even, and next point is, you didn't attended all the classes. It's a very difficult for you. It's not that much cakewalk for you. I'm telling you frankly, please don't mind. If you don't know the prerequisites, you should have joined regular classes. You didn't join the regular classes and you don't have a knowledge on the coding point of view related to microservices. It's very difficult for you. At least going forward, attend daily class.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And ask the question. And at that time, I'll give you some hint line and you can Google it and you can search it. But my humble suggestion is, either you join to Spring Boot and microservices batch, or if you have a confidence, learn on your own. Anything, it's up to you choice. Okay. I'm telling you frankly, you cannot follow 100%. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Now I have a payment controller here. Just like I'm calling the payment here. The next point is, sir, this is the mapping here for a particular order ID, right? For a particular order ID, I'm getting a payment details here. For a particular order ID, I'm getting a payment details over here. Okay. Simple, right? From order service also, sir, I was able to call payment service. That's what I shown you, right, guys? From order service. Yes, sir, guys. Okay. From order service, I'm calling payment service. Isn't it, guys? And also in order controller, I'm saving the order. Saving the order means calling order service as well as calling payment service. In payment controller, I'm getting the order history, where I wrote here, find the payment history, find payment history by order ID, so that I'm getting the details over here. Understand, right, guys? I have two endpoints: do payment, that is the payment processing, and whenever you ask any order, okay, I'm going to get the complete history of that particular table based on order ID. Someone, I told you, right, database aggregator pattern, where we have a every microservice will have its own database, but still the query, what I'll do here, I'll take a primary key of other microservice and I'll take it as a unique key and I'll do that. That's what I mentioned in the database theory patterns. Okay. So by default, I can do this with get order ID, and from there we'll get it here, because in the payment object, I have an order ID. This is how you need to make a database design. Every microservice, I explained this is in schema per design as well as shared schema design. There are the two things I mentioned, right? Whenever schema per design or schema per microservice means, I need to make sure that I need to create a primary key of other service into my data, so that if I query anything, I can just go with the primary key. That's what always we need to think of, primary key for every microservice here. Okay.
If it has composite primary key, sir, then how does it work? So we're
It's
gonna
really,
provide it
it's
as an
really,
object.
really, yeah, really good question. Can someone answer on behalf of me? It's a very good question. Maybe I want to see anyone can answer that question. Jayashree is asking, yes, sir, you are asking primary key. That's fine. But I have a composite primary key. How do you handle that?
Spring Data JPA has one feature called DSL, domain specific language. So you can combine the attributes in that query, that derived query. We can combine the attributes and like this.
Any other?
While defining ID, we'll be creating a class which will be having multiple variables which will construct your composite key. And that custom class name will be giving us an ID for that.
Okay, it's a good point, Vishwanath. It's a good point. But whenever I have a composite primary key, right? Assuming that whenever I have a composite primary key, in this case, composite primary key is not possible. For every order, only one payment. I don't have a multiple payments. In this case, I don't have a composite primary key. But I have a case with a composite primary key where in one table I cannot store, right? In one table I cannot store the both primary key and composite primary key, right? Definitely I have a multiple tables, right? Maybe I feel I'm not I don't feel I'm wasting the time here. It's a good question. I thought of explaining with some example. Can I go ahead, guys? Please don't mind. If you feel that I'm wasting the time, let me know, guys. Okay. So for example, a composite primary key like order and product. One order contain multiple products. A product can be part of multiple orders. Many to many, right? In this case, composite primary key will available. Order ID, product ID. Correct, right? For order table, order ID is the primary key. For product table, product ID is the primary key. Okay. At what time I require for composite primary key, sir? At what time I require for a composite primary key? When I look for a particular order. Look up for particular order. That time I'll have a product underscore order, right? I'll have a product underscore order where this table is having what? Composite primary key of product underscore ID plus order underscore ID. Okay. But when I'm accessing this to other service, I no need to keep product underscore ID plus order underscore ID. If I have an order ID, I can get the other composite primary key as well. Order ID is unique for me, right? So my intention is whatever Vishwanath told is the right answer. That is point one. But you no need to think to that level also. I can take the primary key. If I have the primary key, I can get a composite primary key here, right? Just think about database design. Understand, right? Even if you have composite primary key also, still you can go with primary key because you have a relation there. From primary key, you can get a composite primary key. and from there you can get the data. Jayashree, I hope you got it. Whatever I'm trying to say here,
Yes, sir.
it's a really good question. Good question. Thank you. Yeah.
Also, we can combine the different attributes using that DSL, right? Domain specific language in
Correct,
Spring.
sir. That is implementing, sir. You are telling about implementing a composite primary key.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. It's implementation, sir. But here the question is what, sir? Sir, if I have composite primary key, can I only mention primary key or do I need to mention composite primary key also? I'm mentioning that. Okay. If you have primary key, that's fine. This primary key go to that service from primary key through whatever DSL implementation or joint implementation, whatever it's your choice. Okay. Where you can get a composite primary key also, right? And you can achieve that, right? That is what my answer. And what Vishwanath is telling, you can create a both into a one class and you can generate from there. You can get, that is another way of implementation. Okay. So if I have a if I have a primary key, then I can achieve, I can go to the composite primary key and achieve that. That's the point here. Okay. Right. Now, where I am here. Okay. Now order service is completed. Now payment service is also completed, because payment service doesn't have anything here. Just like I have a payment repository, payment service, and payment controller, and I have a bootstrap class. The important point is, what is the important point here, guys? Enable discovery client. This annotation, right, guys? Enable discovery client here. What exactly discovery client is having is going to register the microservice to the gateway. Sorry, Eureka registry, not gateway. It is going to register the microservice into Eureka registry. Vishwanath, for your sake, I am repeating this because you don't know about discovery client. Okay. Just for your sake, I am repeating this. Enable discovery service. I'm sorry, not Vishwanath. I'm not sorry. Who is that? Vivek. Is it Vivek, right? Vivekanand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Yeah. Enable discovery client is going to call the Eureka registry and it will register the microservice. So that's why we need to write in both the microservices discovery client as well as Eureka client registry. Understand, guys? So this is about offer, order service as well as payment service. Okay, right. I hope everyone is clear. And if you have any questions also, just let me know. Now, only point is, sir, we didn't wrote any other configuration. Did I write any configuration, sir? In order service as well as payment service? Where is my Eureka? Did I write anything here? Did I write anything, sir, here? I only pointed
No, sir.
to,
No, sir. We have not written anywhere.
yeah, it's only pointing to config server. Okay. Just like I need to explain config server, that's why I wrote here. But in real time, better practice is, rather than using config server, we can write on the same itself to have a better control. I mean, I'm not telling that only go there and refer there, but also you can refer here. That is the point here. Okay. Right. It's a best practice, sir. I'm not telling that don't use config server. My perspective, my own perspective, it is nowhere documented. It is nowhere written. Okay. Better to follow the complete configuration within the microservice for better tracking, for better manageability, and debugging and troubleshooting. Okay. Yeah. Now, coming back to my next service is registry service. Give me 1 second. I'll take some water. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Only for today, I have a hot stop, sir. Any other questions before I wrap for today? Just today, a hot stop is there. Any other question from anyone before I stop for today?
Sir,
Sir,
if you
I
don't mind,
have,
yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
sir, I have one doubt regarding composite primary key. For example, composite primary key means the entity it's having to primary column. How we can map here? You told order and product. How we can map? Two columns are primary key.
Sir, if I have one primary key, can't I
Okay.
get another primary key from a particular
Okay.
order? When you need a product composite primary key, sir, when you look for order details, that time you look for composite primary key. For a particular order, for a particular product, if you want to get the details, then only you require composite primary key. From other service, if I know order ID, for that order, can't I get a product ID primary key? If you think on that perspective, you'll get it. Okay, bye. If you have any other questions, I'll you see the you finally see the possibility. If you not get it, I'll explain. Okay,
Sir, we
fine,
will
sir.
see. Sir, we'll see the
Yeah.
execution of this tomorrow.
Yes, not to, mostly tomorrow or day after tomorrow.
Okay.
Sir, first of all, I'll explain the code, then I'll show the execution. Okay, but
Okay.
Vivek, I'm telling you, if you're not able to get anything, ask at that moment. I'll explain some point. You need to troubleshoot. Okay.
Sure,
My
sure,
humble
sir.
request is,
Sure, sir.
you need to join a class or you can learn on your own, any of the things, because the
Okay.
prerequisite for this course is you need to have a knowledge on Spring Boot and you need to have a knowledge on microservices, not theoretical, hands-on. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a great day.